Hey everybody, what's up? Chad Wesley Smith here for Juggernaut Training Systems, and today I want to talk to you about the 5 biggest strength and conditioning mistakes made by athletes training for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've got a ton of content on the channel here about strength and conditioning for BJJ, so make sure to refer to that playlist. I'm going to refer to a bunch of other videos inside of this so you can dive deeper into these topics. But I've been doing strength and conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu athletes since 2009, and I've made a lot of mistakes myself. I see a lot of mistakes that other people make, and these are the 5 biggest ones. So first up, too much conditioning. This is the #1 thing that's changed for me since 2009 when I started doing strength and conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu athletes. I used to grind them up with these really hard circuits all the time. Now, I really focus just more on the weight room. We're in the weight room to learn how to produce more force and to help prevent injuries. Conditioning is going to happen on the mats, and the exceptions to that are going to be if your schedule doesn't allow for more BJJ training and you need to fill that conditioning piece in with extra aerobic capacity training, alactic capacity, lactic capacity training, that could be good. Or if training too much BJJ becomes stressful to you. While getting in shape for BJJ, training BJJ is the best thing to do that. It's pretty feasible, and this happens to me, that if I tried to train BJJ 6 days a week and build my conditioning that way, my joints would hurt so much, I'd be getting too beat up. So for me, and I'm sure for many of you, it's going to be better and more practical for you to replace some of those sessions with either lower intensity BJJ or some in the gym conditioning sessions like tempo, like low intensity steady state cardio. The next big mistake that people make in strength and conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu is misunderstanding specificity. So specificity is developing the underlying systems of success for the sport. And for Jiu-Jitsu, that's encompassing a lot of things, but when people think of specific training, a lot of times they just think of doing the sport movement but with some weight or holding, with bands or anything like that. And that's really getting into more the idea of special strength. And what special strength exercises need to be is mimicking the direction, duration, and velocity of the sporting movements, but you must overload some part of that. So you need to do the sporting movement, but heavier or faster or for a little bit longer than you would in the sport itself. Otherwise, just practice the sport. So a subset of this mistake is that many BJJ practitioners obsess with special tools like kettlebells, maces, club bells, any of those things. Those can be a part of your training, but they're inherently inferior to a barbell and dumbbells for developing force production, which should be our primary goal in the weight room for Jiu-Jitsu athletes. If you want to learn more about this topic, check out my video series, The Sport Performance Pillars. The next mistake I see a lot of Jiu-Jitsu athletes using when they're training for Jiu-Jitsu performance is using strength sport programs to increase their BJJ performance. Now, while being stronger does help you in Jiu-Jitsu, you must get stronger within the context of your Jiu-Jitsu training. And the only thing that is irreplaceable in any athlete's training is their sport practice. You can be a great Jiu-Jitsu athlete without bench pressing, without squatting, without deadlifting. So what you don't want to get caught up in doing is doing a powerlifting program or a weightlifting program or a strongman program and thinking that's going to make me stronger and that's going to make me better at Jiu-Jitsu, because that strength sport program is designed to improve at a sport that's only about lifting more. And your sport, Jiu-Jitsu, is about much more than that. So doing that strength sport program is going to take too much energy away from the training that you need to do on the mats. If you want to learn more about my thoughts on this topic, check out my video, How Heavy Do You Need to Lift for BJJ? The next mistake that I see a lot of Jiu-Jitsu practitioners making in their strength and conditioning programs are too much novelty, and that leads to a lack of overload, a lack of progression in their training. So if you're changing exercises every week, it's going to become very difficult for you, one, to develop enough skill in that exercise to really progress with it, go heavier and heavier, move the bar faster, do the things that you need to do to improve your force production abilities, which is why you're in the weight room in the first place. And it's going to be difficult for you to track your progress. If you're only coming back to the same exercise every 6 weeks, how will you really know if you've gotten better at it? If you want to learn more about this topic, check out my video, Exercise Selection for BJJ. The final mistake that so many Jiu-Jitsu athletes make when creating a strength and conditioning program is they have a lack of strategy in their planning between their BJJ sessions and their strength and conditioning sessions. Jiu-Jitsu is a stimulus and stress to the body, and your body doesn't know the difference between a hard Jiu-Jitsu session, a deadlift session, a bench press session, a conditioning session. It just knows stimulus, stress, and the fatigue that generates. So we need to organize them in a way that facilitates some recovery between those sessions. So if you were gonna try and train jiu-jitsu hard Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and strength and conditioning hard on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, when are you ever gonna recover? We wanna consolidate those stressors, so lift hard and train hard jiu-jitsu on the same day so we can create a high-low structure. So some days you're gonna train really hard, the other days you're gonna recover really hard. If you're interested in learning more about that, check out my organizing BJJ and lifting video. So those are the 5 biggest mistakes I see being made in strength and conditioning for jiu-jitsu. Of course, check out those other videos I referred to, check out our whole playlist on strength and conditioning for jiu-jitsu, and if you wanna get great programming made specifically for you, check out the Juggernaut BJJ app, which you can do at juggernautbjj.app through the link down in the video info, through the link up there in the corner. Get custom-made programming for you and try it for 1 week free. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.